Hey, everybody, welcome to the True Crime Squad. I'm Christy Brower, here with my sister, co host, and partner in crime, Katie Weaver. Hey, Katie.
Hello.
How's it going?
It's going really good. I realized today that my little puppies, my little baby boys will be 2 on Friday,
Oh, my goodness.
and I found a video of them on my YouTube that they're just itty bitty boys first seeing themselves in the mirror for the first time, and I was like,
Oh,
yeah. So,
they're, they're all grown up.
they're going to get a spoonful of peanut butter for their birthdays,
Oh, how lucky are they?
right? I can't believe it. That's all. I don't know if
That's
you guys celebrate
crazy.
your pets' birthdays. We don't like do a party, but we
We
usually know
try
when they
to,
are.
yeah, give them an extra treat for sure.
Yeah.
They don't know it's their birthday, but whatever.
Right, but we do. Yeah,
We do. That is true.
yeah.
Well, this is our Thursday episode, and we have some nonsense for you all today,
Mhm.
don't we?
Yeah.
And we have nonsense when we're kicking the episode off with some WTF news.
This is a WTF News Daily Double because I found one story that led me to another, and they just both have to be shared. So
Oh boy.
bear with me. You're going to get a double dose of dumbass bullshit. But the first case starts in Wisconsin. This
Okay.
happened at a Mayer store. Mayors are kind of like or Meyer, sorry. They're kind of like a Fred Meyer, actually. Not the same store,
Mm,
but they have, or like a super Walmart. They
okay.
they have it all, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, a few days ago, there was an incident where, and we're kind of hearing about this across the country. We get these little crime groups going that they'll hit a store and they all like grab stuff at the same time, and it overwhelms the staff,
Oh,
and they get out
uh-huh.
with them, right? So a group of 4 people were in this store with bags, and they were literally clearing shelves of over-the-counter medication. And
Yeah.
ran out of the store and hopped into a getaway vehicle, and the police had been called, and a police officer started to pursue them and actually ended up in an accident with a bystander who wasn't paying attention, but luckily there was an officer behind him that kept up with the pursuit. So they ended up in kind of in a chase. Unfortunately, though, for the perps, they headed straight to the railroad tracks where there was a very long, very slow train ambling along.
Mm.
And not to be, stopped by the train and arrested, they turned and headed into an open field. I guess hoping to just drive along the tracks until they could get out of there.
Oh boy.
Unfortunately, though, it's spring
Oh no.
and it was muddy, and they just buried their car in the mud. Just stuck as hell. Couldn't get out. And the driver was the first person to emerge from the car, and he thought it would be smart to get uncooperative and combative with the police, and a police dog had to take him down, and
Oh,
he required a bit of hospitalization due to that. But
oh dear.
everybody else was arrested without incident, and the evidence that they expected to find, which was a trash bag full and some shopping bags full of OTC medication.
Oh my God.
But apparently, they all have Chicago driver's licenses. And this isn't the first time. This happened in Waukesha, Wisconsin. And this isn't the
Okay.
first time recently that a crime group, now this kills me. They talked about a crime syndicate from Chicago that's been coming to Waukesha to steal cars from dealerships that is a whole gang of teenagers.
Oh my God.
Teenagers, really? Wow. Okay, then.
Oof, that's a rough way to start your life.
So this article kind of cracked me up. I love it when dumb criminals do dumb criminal things. But it led me to another article. Now, this is something that happened in 2018. And I will tell you right now, I think it's very shitty that we didn't find it before now. It's a bunch of crap, to be honest.
Oh no, it sounds like yeah. Oh,
For those of you listening, not watching, this is a picture of a pickup that is buried clear to the doors in cow manure.
that's awesome.
And the reason why is because these geniuses had, this was in Minnesota, and the police came out because a man on his farm called the police and said that he had seen some men stealing from his farm some lumber and other things and loading them into his pickup or their pickup, and then tried to get away and absolutely buried this truck in cow shit.
I don't even know. Like, it's gonna have to be pulled out from
Hmm.
behind with like a truck. Like,
A tractor, probably. Yeah,
there's
it's
no digging that out. Holy shit!
bad. So when the police got there, they found a man standing along the side of the road, casually smoking a cigarette, absolutely covered in manure. From his waist to his feet, absolutely caked. No shoes, because his shoes were somewhere in the bog of shit and had been lost long ago. Dude was wearing jean shorts over long underwear. Like, what? Anyway, the officer said to him something didn't smell right.
Yeah, I suppose so.
He smelled a rat, I guess. Uh, he said, obviously, this encounter was accompanied by a strong smelling odor. Add to the fair amount of rain we received over the weekend, and you have a nice blend. So apparently, there were two men
Gross.
involved, but one of them managed to get out of the truck and run off. But this guy had been there for hours trying to free the pickup before the farm. They were still on his property. got
Oh boy.
The police said the trip to the jail was made with the windows open. They also hosed him off at the farm from the farmer's used a hose on the farmer's property to hose him off well before taking him to jail.
Oh, they probably still had to fumigate that car.
Uh-huh.
That or the police car. Holy hell.
He said that the car smelled terrible for several days after the incident.
Oh,
Sucks
I
to
can
suck, I
imagine.
guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does suck to suck.
So I mean, I guess if you're gonna commit crimes, if you're gonna go do crime, and maybe do a little better with the getaway car, or don't. This is fine too.
Yeah. I I'm speechless.
Yeah. Well, it's a
That
real
is a shitty situation.
it's a real turd in the punch bowl when something like this happens, you know?
It is, yes, it is.
Yeah. But with that, I am going to kick it over to you for our main case. Speaking of
Yes.
turds in the punch bowl.
Yes. Let's talk about this guy. This is Eligio Bishop, or as his cult members know him, Natureboy.
Mm-hmm.
Natureboy is currently on trial for rape, imprisonment, and revenge porn.
Mm-hmm.
He's a real charmer, let me tell you.
Mm-hmm.
So he leads a group called a cult called Carbonation. He actually really likes that it gets called a cult, and he likes being called a cult leader. He thinks it's cool. Uh,
Neat. Okay.
yeah. So this happened. This incident happened in 2022 with one of his. Wait a minute. Yeah, 2022. In April of 2022, when one of the women in his cult tried to leave.
Mhm.
And when she tried to leave, he grabbed her, forced her into a room, wouldn't let her leave, sexually assaulted,
Mhm.
falsely imprisoned her, and then sent other people uh, sexually explicit videos and images after the fact. These are the things that she has alleged that he is charged with. So this is going on in Georgia. This is in DeKalb County, and this is a it's quite a trial. It just started, so they're only just a few days in to this trial, and several things have happened. They've had a cult lead. They've had a cult expert testify. The victim has testified. Another woman or a couple of other people from the cult have testified.
Mhm.
The expectation that all of the women were expected to have sex with him, whether they wanted to or not, was just a given. So it's
God.
got all the cult things. You have to turn
Yeah.
over all your worldly goods. You must have sex with the cult leader, whether you want to or not.
Mhm.
And you're isolated and alienated from your loved ones and your family. It's got all the stuff, right? One of the witnesses said that the women were not allowed to wear tops. They had to go around topless at all times,
Oh my
and
god.
that many of them had taken to wearing leaves on their chests because they felt really uncomfortable about being topless all the time. Imagine.
Yeah,
I
weird.
will show you a picture of Elio and his wives. The other part of this is that this cult practices polygamy. This
Mhm.
is Elio with his wives. This is the only picture I could find where they did have tops on. There are a bunch of others out there where they don't, and I can't really show you
Mhm.
that without getting into some trouble. So, uh, anyway, we're learning some stuff about this group. But let me tell you a little bit about some of the things that have happened in court. So he doesn't seem to be taking this particularly seriously, and he says he is Jesus Christ, and he also is God.
Oh god.
And,
Of course.
I mean, it's just the usual. It's just like geez, you could get a little bit more original than this dude,
God,
but
it's
he
just
really isn't.
classic. Yeah.
Yeah. But what happened a few days ago is that the judge tested positive for COVID.
Mhm.
And then within just a couple of days, she came back to court and she said, "We're just going to practice CDC guidelines. No one's coming into close contact with me.
Mhm.
We have to get through this trial. I'm not going to disrupt this trial."
Yeah.
Well, Mr. Nature Boy got really, really COVID conscious all of a sudden when that started happening. So I'm going to play for you some audio that happened in court earlier this week, um, so that you can kind of hear where this is going, because then I'm going to tell you what a hypocrite this jackass is. But let's listen to this first.
Make clear that Mr. Bishop has two options under the Sixth Amendment, and he needs to select from one of those two options. Yes. All right, Mr. Bishop. The options are: one, you can proceed with Mr. Booker. Two, you can fire Mr. Booker and you can proceed pro se. If you want to do that, we have to have what's called a Ferretti hearing, and then to advise you on the record of all of the dangers in doing so. The COVID issue has been resolved. The attorneys are fine going forward. The jurors are fine going forward. I'm wearing a mask. It's not an issue. So CDC guidelines are changing. Anyway, so that ship has sailed. We are going forward with this trial. We're in the middle of it. If you want to have a different attorney, you don't get to choose a different attorney in the middle of the trial. We don't stop for you to get a new lawyer. You either proceed with Mr. Booker or you proceed by yourself. Period. Two choices. Those are the only ones you have.
Is that on record?
Yes, everything is on the record.
Okay, I would like to fire my attorney if I can find new counsel.
That is not an option. Okay, you're not listening to me, Mr. Bishop. The options are proceed with Mr. Booker or proceed without an attorney. Those are the two options you have at this juncture. Period. Nobody in the back can help you. Look at me. I'm talking to you. Two options: proceed with Mr. Booker or proceed pro se and represent yourself, which is a terrible, terrible, terrible idea.
Why is that my only two options?
That's the law, Mr. Bishop, period. That's the law.
So I'm not allowed to seek other counsel?
Not in the middle of trial, no, sir.
Even if I'm not being represented right?
Sir, that's the ruling. Do not argue with me.
Is that on record?
Everything is on record, Mr. Bishop. Everything is on the record. So what do you want to do? You either proceed with Mr. Booker or you proceed without an attorney. But we're not stopping the trial for you to get a new lawyer. That's not how this works.
What about the COVID?
We've already discussed that, sir. You have a mask, I have a mask, we have hand sanitizers, the jurors are fine with it, counsel's fine with it, we are way more than 5 feet away from each other. So you're trying everything you can to not go forward with this trial.
Because I'm not being treated fair.
Okay, you are entitled to your opinion, Mr. Bishop, I'm not going to argue with you, but we are moving forward with the trial. One way or the other. If you're concerned about COVID and you want to stay in the back and do not want to participate in the trial, that is also your right. And we'll try you an extension. That is considered a voluntary absence from court.
Really?
Really?
Because I don't want to be in here and be exposed to COVID?
Then you can sit in the back and we can try the case in your absence.
So I don't have the right to have any opinion about this?
I don't even understand that question. Those are your choices.
Meaning like make a decision on my behalf.
Okay. Mr. Bishop, this is the last time I'm going to tell you your options, okay? As far as counsel, you either proceed with Mr. Booker or you represent yourself, period. You do not get to stop the trial to hire a new attorney. Number one. Number two, COVID. I've discussed this with counsel. We've mentioned it to the jurors. Everybody is fine with going forward. We have masking in place. We have provided you with the mask. We have hand sanitizer. COVID's been going on for 4 years, folks. We got to figure out how to live with this. We are way more than 5 feet apart, and the CDC guidelines are in the process of changing anyway with respect to the isolation rules. They haven't changed yet. They are in the process of changing them to eliminate the isolation requirements and just to require masks. I am wearing a mask. I will wear a mask throughout the entire trial. So that if you're not comfortable with that, and you want to sit in lockup during the course of the trial, that is your right. And that will be considered a voluntary absence from the proceeding.
Will I be able to hear what's going on?
Nope. There's no feed back there. Nope, you wouldn't be able to hear it. So it's up to you.
So
2 choices, sir. Proceed or it's go in the back. That's it.
And this is on record?
Everything is on record. Everything I'm saying is on the record. So the appellate courts can hear it. If they think I handled it improperly, they'll have their discretion to do whatever they deem appropriate. So you need to decide now what you're doing. Do you want to stay in the courtroom for the remainder of the proceeding, Mr. Bishop, and participate in this trial?
Participate?
Yes. Testify, not testify, be here when witnesses testify.
Whether I'm here or not, this is going to go forward.
Yes, that is correct. That is correct.
Who will be representing me if I fire my lawyer?
You will represent yourself. Those are your choices.
And if I represent myself and not choose to be in the court, then who?
Nobody.
Okay, well, I wanted to fire my attorney and not be in court.
Okay. All right. So that means, if that is the case, you want to fire Mr. Booker and you want to remain in the courtroom. You want to remain in lockup, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so that means there will be if you fire Mr. Booker, that means no witnesses are going to testify on your behalf. You will be presenting no evidence, and we will move right into the closing arguments.
So are you saying that I'm not allowed to defend myself?
That's not what I'm saying at all. You have a right to defend yourself. You have Mr. Booker here, who again is doing an outstanding job on your behalf.
Not mind.
I told you your options, so decide what you want to do. Do you want to talk to your client in the back? Okay, let's take 5 minutes.
If he wants to.
Go talk to my.
She
Just
bodied the
real-
hell out of him.
Darrell Brooks vibes go. She did. Is this on the record? Oh my god. She was. Oh, she did a great job. But holy shit. Okay, so
But
that
Your Honor,
whole
I don't like being told what to do by women.
exactly. So they go back. So he goes and talks with his attorney. Decides he's going to keep his attorney. Well, no shit. Because see, it's just insane. Well, then who will represent me? No one. I
You.
can't defend myself. Well, yes, you can with your attorney, you dumb bitch. Oh my god. Anyway, so that happened on Tuesday. So then they didn't have court Wednesday. So then they were back in court today for a whole other big argument. And I didn't bring all of it because it's just insane about COVID. And now he has opted, he will be watching his own trial from the courtroom at the jail because he's so concerned about COVID.
I'm just sure he is. Yeah.
Let me tell you a little story about old Natureboy and how he was busted for breaking travel quarantine in Hawaii in 2020. Because
What?
he doesn't care about COVID. He's trying to stop his trial, I guess.
He's just trying to
So
be belligerent and difficult and find a loophole. Yeah.
yes, absolutely. So he and a bunch of some of his cult members were busted in Hawaii in 2020 for violating the state's quarantine order, where he was supposed to quarantine for 14 days, and he did not. So they flew in on June 7th or June 8th, and then they basically just went about their business and did not follow the quarantine rules. This was June 12th, is when the article came out. So yeah, let's just get real here about the fact that you don't care about COVID, dude.
No.
So then the other thing that he did is somehow back at the jail, someone let him use a device, and he made a post on Instagram trying to cause a mistrial, intentionally trying to
Holy
cause
shit.
a mistrial. So this is the exchange that happened with the prosecutor and the judge about this. And I wish I had the video, but I just couldn't. The look on his attorney's face when he finds out this.
During which he indicated his desire that the case result in a mistrial so that the case would be assigned to another judge.
Oh,
So
I'm
that's-
sure. Okay. Yeah, I mean, Mr. Bishop, I know you're doing everything you possibly can to try to get this case to go away, or at least get away from me. But that's not how it works. So, okay, we've got the feed going. So
Mr.
we.
Bishop has indicated he did not make that statement on the jail law. So I make sure.
Okay. All right, it's interesting how he was able to post an Instagram live post from the jail, but somebody emailed my office that there was some post. I wouldn't, don't talk about it, Mr. Bishop, it's not gonna help you. All right.
Just don't talk.
So yeah, he says he didn't do it, but it was literally an Instagram live. So like, that's your face, dumbass. Somebody actually sent it to the judge and was like, isn't this guy on trial right now? So he's trying to get a mistrial. He's trying to get a different judge. Yeah, I do think the fact that the judge is a woman is a huge problem for him.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's hilarious and wonderful that it is a woman. Now, this last clip I want to share. Now,
And
this
she's
is
a baddie.
Oh yeah, she's doing a great job. But I mean,
Yeah.
he is definitely not doing anything for his cause.
No.
This is a recording of a recording. So I've cleaned it up as best I can, but you're going to have to really listen. And after we listen to it, I will tell you what it says in case you have trouble hearing it. So this is some audio from an interview that the police did with him when they arrested him, and he was charged with this sexual assault.
What about the guys that and the girls that claim that you are God?
I believe I'm God. I do. I believe that I'm God. I believe we're God. I believe everything is connected. I believe that you're God. I believe that the way I treat you is how I treat God. I believe you don't treat God. We don't praise an invisible God. We praise each other. The way I treat you is how I treat God. I don't put God in my mind. I put God as you. And I love you as I love God. And my relationship with you is my relationship with God. We're God. We're all one. We're one earth, one source. We're all breathing the same air on this one rock in the middle of nowhere, flying into the dimension of the abyss of darkness. We're all on this one rock together. And we gotta get along. This is what I'm teaching. We can't keep fighting. The black people don't want to hear it. They don't, but I've been breaking through. I've been breaking, see that all that happened right now? That's going to be on the news. That's going to put my name on the news. And we're going to news. So I'm looking at this like, okay, cool, this is good. This is what I need. I need press to get people to listen to me. Because they keep taking me as a joke. I'm telling them mathematics of the universe. I'm saying, listen, we need to eat this food. We need to get this much sunlight. We need to get out of the hood, put the guns away. This is what we need to do. And if we keep ending up behind bars, so we have to live in tune with the lane. And this is my message to the people.
Okay, so I know some of that was hard, but basically what he's saying is that the officer says, so your followers say that you believe you're God, and he says, I do believe I'm God, I am God. And then he goes into this whole thing, everyone's God, I think you're God, and I'm God, and how I treat you is how I treat God, and all of this gobbledygook that he's telling the police when he's been arrested for a sexual assault.
Mm-hmm.
It's gross.
Mm-hmm.
It's the typical cult leader bullshit.
Yeah.
Like he's got the whole shtick,
Mm-hmm.
and now is literally, trying very hard to just not recognize the court and what's happening to him now that he
I'm
is
really surprised he hasn't gone the sovereign citizen route, honestly.
right. I know. Well, he and his followers have actually been kicked out of several countries. They have been kicked out of Costa Rica. Let's see. I was trying to remember. Because everywhere they go, people around them are like, oh, this is not good. This is not good at all. Oh, damn. Where is it? Anyway, there's several countries that have kicked them out, banned them forever from ever coming back into their country because they see them as a threat to their national security. Wow. He's really dangerous. But when they got Costa Rica, Nicaragua, and Panama have all kicked them out. So about 15 of them were arrested and kicked out of Costa Rica. And they initially couldn't board an airplane because they don't believe in bathing. And they smelled so bad that they wouldn't let them on the plane.
Oh, for the love of God.
Like it's just a bunch of really bizarre, I don't know, man. Like, have your beliefs, live your life, whatever. But when you're fucking other people, and he is most definitely, and he thinks he's God. He tells people that he is the Christ. It's just the same shit every single time. And then you see this crap happening in court, and I'm like, dude, you are not doing yourself any favors whatsoever.
I love the judge.
With all that bullshit.
Yeah.
Is this on the record? Yes, it's always on the record. And when she said what did she say to participate in this trial? Participate? Like he didn't know what that meant? Like, come on, dude. You're full of shit. We all know you're full of shit. Come on. And now, multiple people who have finally managed to get away from him are coming out and saying, oh yeah, sexual assault was just an absolute given in this cult, and he's like, I like it when people call me a cult leader. I think it's cool. Oh, you are such a jackass. Anyway, so this is quite the trial. So he is now refusing to attend the trial, which is probably the best thing that's happened to the judge in a long time. She can just deal with his completely reasonable attorney who is
Yeah.
trying to deal with this mess.
Right.
And
She's
his
like, "You're
attorney is doing a good job defending him.
yeah." She's like, "You're trying. We get it. You're trying."
Yeah.
Can you
This
imagine the amount of STDs that must be running through that group?
Oh, I
They
don't
are
yeah.
unwashed, and he's sexually assaulting all of the women.
Right. It's
Dear
awful.
God.
It's awful. And you want to be polygamous, fine. Be a polygamist. But only if people are in it voluntarily
Yeah.
and no one's getting assaulted. But you know what? I am not aware of any form of polygamy ever where no one's getting assaulted.
Right?
It's just not doesn't happen.
No.
So anyway, that's what's going on with Nature Boy. I'll be keeping an eye on the rest of this trial, and we shall see what happens. But man, all I could think of was Darrell Brooks.
Yeah.
Listening to that exchange
Mhm.
with the judge, how ridiculous and difficult he was, and pretending like he didn't understand, and refusing to like listen to the fact that look, there are laws that govern this. You can say whatever you want to say, but it doesn't make it true and it
Mhm.
doesn't make it possible. You can't just fire your attorney in the middle of your trial for no reason at all.
Yeah.
But all of this is just subterfuge. He's trying to cause a mistrial. He's trying
Mhm.
to weasel his way out of this. It's just not going to happen.
Mhm.
So, with that,
Lord.
I'm going to kick the mic back to you for a crime news update.
Okay. Well, the judge in Nature Boy is clearly a badass woman that we absolutely applaud. Unfortunately,
Mhm.
I am going to introduce you to a judge that is not a badass, and we do not applaud.
Uh-huh.
This is Judge Robert Adrian. Well, shall I
Okay.
say former Judge Robert Adrian.
Ah, okay. I see where this is going.
See, Judge Adrian had a situation in his courtroom a few years ago
Okay.
that cost him his job,
Oh,
and I will tell you why. In 2021, a young lady, a 16-year-old, was at a party, a graduation party, and there was alcohol, and there were lots of boys, and there was swimming. And apparently, she didn't have a swimming suit, and so she was just swimming in her bra and underpants. And she ended up getting quite drunk. And an older boy who was 18 sexually assaulted her,
mm,
and both in multiple ways. In multiple ways. And he was charged. As- He's 18, she's 16, she was incapacitated. That's pretty clear.
right.
And so, of course, this young man went to trial. And the judge initially, who was Judge Adrian, did convict him on a bench trial.
Okay.
And then in 2022, when it came to sentencing, Judge Adrian shocked the courtroom by saying that he changed his mind. Now, there should have been a minimum 4-year sentence. That was the law in Illinois.
Mhm.
Rather than put that sentence into play, which this kid had already been in jail for, a certain amount of time. And so he would have had, I think, about 3 more years to serve. He said he had decided that this young man had been punished enough and there was really no reason to move forward.
What?
Now, he couldn't give him a lesser sentence because that's not the law in Illinois. What he could do is just reverse the ruling. So that's what he did.
Oh my God.
He gave the victim and her parents a very stern talking to about the fact that teenagers and alcohol and swimming in your undergarments don't mix.
What the hell?
Mm-hmm.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Yeah.
Guy deserves a lot more than to lose his job.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck?
So, a 3-court commission on ethics did decide here recently that he really doesn't need to be a judge anymore.
Yeah. Oh my
So,
God. So he really
former
did just let
Judge
that kid
Adrian,
go?
hmm former
Ah,
Judge Adrian is now getting real loud with certain news organizations, letting us know that this was a political hit job and he is being persecuted against for his conservative Christian values.
are you fucking kidding me right
hmm
now?
Yeah.
Oh my God. What an asshole.
hmm
That poor girl.
Yeah.
Jesus. Talk about getting traumatized again.
hmm Yep.
Wow.
He said that the perpetrator had received plenty of punishment after he'd spent 148 days in jail and just really didn't deserve any more. And he feels like that was the right decision and that the wrong things were done in the first place. And this young man didn't deserve to be punished for that any longer. And he'll stand by that. And anyone who argues with him, including the Commission on Ethics, are just
Yeah.
committing a political hit job against him.
Well, I
Uh,
guess you kind of forgot about, Illinois law, you asshole.
so, former Judge Adrian, have the day you deserve and the retirement you deserve because you shouldn't be on the bench. Now,
No.
the girl who was the victim in this case is now 18 and is talking to the press and said that it was shocking. It was horrifying to see this kid get let off after what he did to her. Her parents said that when she was raped, she was an athlete, she was a straight A student. And after that, she dropped out of all sports. Her grades all dropped to or lower, and it
Mhm.
completely ruined the rest of her high school experience.
I'll
And then
bet.
to see him not receive the sentence that he deserved and that state law mandated for raping her.
Right.
And this was after there were 3 charges on this, and the judge had actually already in the bench trial acquitted him or released him from the 2 most egregious ones and opted for just the charge on manual penetration. Uh,
My God.
he had done everything he could to help this kid in the first place, and then at the end of the day, just dropped the charges completely.
Wonder if she could sue him now for mouthing off about this.
I don't know.
Well, if someone knows and can help her, they should.
hmm
Because this guy is trash.
hmm
Makes you wonder what other
Entirely.
bullshit he did while he was on the bench.
Yep.
Wow. That's so disgusting. And to say that this is politically motivated,
Yep.
you are such a dick. You let a
hmm
rapist go and re traumatized a rape victim.
hmm
This, we don't want to ruin these young men's lives. Oh, they already
hmm
did that themselves by
Yep.
making terrible, terrible choices.
Yep.
Wow.
He told he also had kind of meddled with the trial when it came to sentencing uh into the entire thing. Apparently he had an ex parte conversation with the defense to see what kind of a plea deal could be reached, and
The
there hadn't
judge
been.
did?
And there hadn't been one, and he pressed the prosecution to come up with a plea deal that would give this kid a lighter sentence, and they weren't offering one. And he said that ultimately the reason he reversed this is because A, this young man had suffered enough, and B, he just didn't feel like there was any evidence provided that this young lady could or couldn't provide consent. Motherfucker, she was 16. She
Yeah.
couldn't provide
Her
consent.
age
She
alone
is
is
a
all you need.
child. Yeah.
Wow.
And I'll
What
tell
an
you
ass.
something.
And judges are not supposed to be meddling and stuff like that.
No, they're not.
They're
You and I
supposed to
both
be
raised teenage boys.
right.
And you and I both had very frank conversations with our sons about
Yes.
not messing around. When you're at 17, 18, 19, 20, you do not mess around with girls that are younger than you. Period. End of
Period.
story.
Absolutely.
Period.
put the
because
fear of God into my son several times about stuff like that.
Mhm. Because it's wrong, because you could catch a charge, because it's
Right.
wrong, and
Yeah.
because it's wrong.
Yeah.
And it could absolutely color the rest of your life. Even girls who you're in a relationship with or want to be, even girls whose parents know you and like you, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
It
it
doesn't
doesn't
matter.
matter. It's still illegal and it's still a huge risk and not worth taking.
Yep.
Yeah.
But also, you don't have sex with a girl who is drunk and
No.
can't consent. This girl
Yeah,
wasn't even
don't.
conscious
That's
of what
rape.
was happening to her.
My God.
This
That's
isn't
rape.
that hard. But no,
No, it
this is
isn't.
because she was drinking and because she swam in her underclothing. And that's why this happened to her. And it's why he didn't need to go to jail and serve any more time.
Mhm. Well, because it's always the woman's fault, right? It's always the girl's fault. We're always the ones that have to keep men from committing rape.
Yeah.
What a douche.
Well, this
I
is
hope he
on the
gets hit by a
heels
bus.
of a pastor last week giving a sermon
Oh, I
of a
saw
pretty
that.
good sized, like mega church type situation that he and his wife had been on vacation. And he was so disgusted because while he was on vacation, he saw so many women in shorts, not skirts, not pants, shorts. And he said, I will say it, and it won't be popular. But if I was on the jury and a young man was being tried for raping somebody who was dressed like that, he would be acquitted.
My God.
These people still exist. They still exist.
Can we just put them all on an island together
They can wear all the shorts they want.
and leave them there
Yeah,
forever?
but at least for Illinois, good job. Good riddance to bad rubbish. Judge Adrian is done. I would be fascinated to know what else he's done because I would imagine
Oh,
it is
there's got to
copious.
have been other things. Yeah.
Hmm.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's disgusting.
but there you have it.
Wow. Okay, well, fuck those guys, right? What an episode. Wowza. All right. Well, that's it, you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, comment, leave reviews where you can. It helps us to grow. We appreciate you all so very much. And you know it. We are the True Crime Squad. Thanks for being here.
Take care.